What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about GameStop and AMC. Kudos to every single one of you guys that have watched your portfolios decrease over the past couple weeks. And finally to see a little bit of action late yesterday and in the after hours to close some of those gains, especially when a lot of people were like, hey, listen, it's dead, it's over, don't hang on. We're going to go over a little bit of the news on what is leading to this, okay? And we're also more specifically going to talk about AMC because that is one of the stocks that I've covered more on my channel, as well as the website I mentioned to you that gives a forecast on what to expect in the next 10 days based on prior data. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss this. For those of you that are interested, our private community, I moved it over from a separate website that was hosting the platform onto a Patreon. If you're interested, we'd love to have you. We have a couple hundred members. We talk stocks and strategy all day long. It's the first link in the comments. Check it out. All right, guys, let's get into the video. First off, this came out yesterday straight from MarketWatch. It is showing the short interest, the most shorted stocks. Number one on the list, AMC. It shows the current price, $909, 18% up for the day, 328% for the year, with a 48.1 million short interest, and that is giving it a 84.3% float shorted, which is insanely high. We saw when GameStop had ran its actions, it was around the 121 percent float shorted, and 84 is insanely high. The short date shows 2/12, and that is because that is the date that the brokerages have to file by, and then it gets reported on February 24th as of yesterday. We'll also go to this other website, shortsqueeze.com. I use this as well. It just shows right here that the short interest, the current shares shorted is 48.1 million. Another source to corroborate exactly what the accurate data is, as well as a 28% increase. Right here, the record date, 2021, Feb B. If you go over to data updates, just to show you guys, February B means the 24th. So that is absolutely awesome, okay? Let's take a look now at the website called pretiming.com. This was something that one of the members in our private community had mentioned to me over on Monday, and it kind of just gives you an indication based on the algorithm that they use on prior data on where potentially the stock could be going. Now, when we looked at AMC a couple days ago, it was up a little higher. It did have a candle wick getting into between the 20 and 25 range, and it has pulled back a little bit since, but it still shows some uptick to happen. Now, we do need AMC's volume to really pick up. I'll go into the charts in a minute. I'll show exactly where the volume stood yesterday as of where it also stood in January when it did hit that almost 25 point. Now, this is the other even crazy one too. I did not look this up as of yesterday, but I looked this up today, GameStop. And when you look at GameStop, it's crazy. It's got this thing going up to 300. Now, let me just say this, guys. I am very new to this website. I have no idea how the specific algorithm works. So take this with a huge grain of salt. As you saw yesterday after hours, GameStop hit 200. I expect it to kind of continue that spike up today. It reached a recent high of 483 intraday. Back in January when it went through the last squeeze. So it is, if you look at that candle wick right up there, yeah, I think it was 438 was the high. So that is possible. I don't see it lasting over 10 days and being a slow gradual increase. However, that is definitely possible. Now let's take a look at the charts. As you see, GameStop and AMC, they are trending a little bit similar, but also different than this time. It's not 100% exact. AMC has maintained that consistent uptick. I mentioned to you guys many times that 550 was a strong support. Okay, so I had not sold my position because by the time it dropped right down to 550, it was very, very quick. And after just a few days, I said, okay, 550 is making a really, really strong support. And at that time, I only saw this stock to go up based on chart analysis as well as the vaccine being rolled out, entertainment and leisure restrictions are being lifted in many states, and naturally summer's coming. People are going to want to get out and they're going to want to get back to their normal lives. I figured, why sell at the lowest point? I didn't need the money to be able to transfer funds to get into other deals and other plays because I had that behind me, so I chose to hang on to it. You saw it continually uptick a little bit, and then as of late, like yesterday, we got the huge spike. That was probably when the report was first issued to the early individuals that have access to it as well, because I didn't get that report until much after 5 o'clock yesterday. So they must have had that information. But let's take a look also on, guys, on what potentially needs to happen and where I see this going. So right now you're watching AMC. It is at 10.6. It hit 1189 early this morning before it kind of sold off, and it was getting rejected by the 200 simple moving average a couple times, 1, 2, and it looks like we just broke through that. So lately lately, the next point of resistance is going to be around that 11.15 range. If we can continue to see that break up, I can continue to see this stock to go. However, the volume needs to pick up. Now, if we go back to the AMC, if we look over here on the 1 month chart, and we look when we hit that high of in the 20s, the volume was 1.2 billion, okay, which is pretty high, definitely pretty high. Yesterday was 352 million. It's already early on in the day, and I see the volume picking up, which is awesome. However, it needs to get up to that 900 million to 1 billion range to be able to keep it going. When you look at GameStop, if we go over to this 1 minute chart, just for comparison, okay, this had a huge volume early on, 197, and then by the time it even got even higher, it was much less. Why did that happen? Is because at the beginning, there were call options probably expiring in the money, which was causing them to buy the shares, and then it began to spike up. Then that's when you had a short squeeze. That's why you always hear these terms of a gamma squeeze before a short squeeze. This was one thing that I was really, really looking forward to AMC in happening is if we got through the end of the week, February 26th, and the in-the-money call options expire. If the price strikes above 950, there's going to be 200,000 call options that expire in the money, which means on Monday they can be purchasing 20 million shares. That's going to create a huge amount of buying power, which is what we call a gamma squeeze, which in return would cause the shorts to eventually cover, which would make a short squeeze to make this thing continuing pedal up. Now, this is a very high risk, so take everything I say, guys, with a grain of salt. Be prepared. Obviously, there are many individuals of you that got into this at a later point of time and were able to not get out and have taken some serious losses. I was one of them. I bought into AMC. I believe it was the 3rd of February. I want to say the 3rd of February, that Monday, expecting there to be a lot of buying power. I took more or less as a day trade, figuring I would get in that 15 price range, ride it up to 20, get out of it, make my 25% gain, because I didn't feel like AMC would exactly replicate what happened to GameStop, because what happened to GameStop was a long time in the making. Okay, now we've had some time, we've had some consistency, we've seen people continue to buy and continue to hold AMC. And now we can potentially see exactly what happened to GameStop happen to AMC. However, if you also look at some of these numbers, 18%, 16%, if you go over to GameStop, there is much, much higher percentage of action happening. So we're going to see what happens over in the short run. I'm going to continue to cover this, guys. Leave a comment down below. Let me know whether you are in on it, whether you held it over a long period of time, what your average unit cost was, what your plan is on doing this. I'm going to continue to hold AMC and continue to see where it goes. I am excited for Monday. Please make sure that you invest at your own risk, okay, and you do what is most suitable for your lifestyle, your investment strategy, because I don't want to see anybody choose to hang on or get into a stock just by listening to somebody else, or especially that big old FOMO, the fear of missing out. So make sure you do your own due diligence. And guys, if you're interested, click the link down below. We'd love to have you over there. There's also a bunch of training material, as well as a great group of individuals that all talk stocks and strategy all day long. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.